When you're ready,
ServPro, how can we help?
help gets there faster. The cleanup specialists at 1-800-ServPro and ServPro.com. Helping make fire and water damage like it never even happened.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red. just the same. Stand in the plane, the US of A. Oh, say, just that star spangled banner, yeah, wave for the land of the free. In the home of the
Welcome, race fans, to the Dominus 2YJ Racing Dented Fender Truck Series, live here on All Pro Broadcasting from New Hampshire Motor Speedway for round one of our 2017 Chase. Thanks for being here, fans. Thanks for being here, everybody. We're excited. I'm pumped up. Joining me in the booth right now is a driver who won this championship 1 year ago, 2016. Curtis Young, how you doing tonight?
Good, Robert. As always, just excited to be chase racing here tonight. It's a whole new ball game for all these drivers. James Ross, I think he's had 9 wins this year, and all that's thrown out the window for the most part now. He does have some bonus points to start off the chase, but he's got to keep winning to keep his momentum rolling now. And a lot of these other drivers, they've had some late momentum rolling into the end of the season as well, like Gary Sexton, and I think Jeff T. Martin's been strong near the end of the year here too, so Gerald Campbell as well. So it's a whole new ball game here for these drivers tonight, and it's going to be exciting to see what these next I believe 8 or 9 weeks that we have for this chase format is going to bring.
Hey, I appreciate that, Curtis. And as we're speaking about the chase format, our good friend Michael D'Amico with All Pro Broadcasting, we do want to make sure you click that subscribe button. He's going to show us a short image that's going to explain exactly how the chase works. The 20 drivers who have qualified, we got a few more than 20 tonight in the race. Those are the guys who did not qualify. They're going to be looking to spoil the party. But Curtis, while these guys are getting their qualifying laps in, if you would go ahead and go over how this, who's qualified for the chase and how it works, and how many will transfer to the next round.
Yeah, I actually don't have the list of drivers in front of me, but here's how the playoff rundown works. Round 1 is going to be 20 drivers qualified for this round 1, and we're here at New Hampshire. Then we go to Las Vegas in Las Vegas next race, and then Talladega. That's the end of round 1. 16 drivers will advance to round 2, where we go to Indianapolis, Texas, and the Auto Club Speedway. That will conclude round 2, and 12 drivers will advance to championship night at Homestead. So 7 races here left on the season, and 7 races in the chase format here for the 2017 Dented Fenders Truck Campaign.
Yeah, thank you so much, Curtis. Here are the drivers in the order in which they are seated. We have James Ross, number 1, Gary Sexton, number 2. There we go. We've got Andrew Kessler, Mark Jackson, Josh Tanner, Gerald Campbell, Jeff Martin, sorry about that, folks. After Jeff Martin, we have got David Wright, Shane Parrish, Jack Watts. Then we've got Tyler Chalk. Having trouble reading this. William Locklear, Judd Danielson, Jeremy Crandall, Ivan Garcia, Ray Richer, James Somke, Chad Payne, and that last driver looks like Blake Griffin. Just finally made it in. So of those 20, 16 will transfer to the next round. Who is looking fast in qualifying so far, Curtis?
Oh, well, it's the driver that pretty much dominated the regular season. It's James Ross at the top of the board. He's got a 30.936 up there right now for qualifying, and Shane Parrish right behind him with a 30.993. Those two are the only 2 drivers to break below the 31 mark, it looks like right now. But yeah, a lot of these chase contenders are right up here in the top 10, so I mean, hot lap speed doesn't always mean everything. James Ross actually doesn't always qualify on the pole, but he wins the race more than he qualifies on the pole, so I mean, that just goes to show you that it's more long run speed that matters, and especially at a place like New Hampshire here, where it's flat, tires wear pretty bad. You can get so tight in the middle of the corner, it feels like, but you get so much wheel into it, and then you get snapped loose off the corner. So it's just it's a pretty tough track, to say the least. Unique one as well. It's for how flat it is, it's long, and you don't see too many like it. It's like we are almost at the conclusion of qualifying here, and it's like only 17 drivers have actually taken qualifying time.
Yes, sir. I think now we've got a hold of a driver who just made it into this chase format a few weeks ago with his famous win. David Wright, the number 42, Triad Computer Works. How's your truck feel? What do you think your chances are of winning this race?
Well, Robert, there's some really fast guys here, as you can tell by the qualifying. I've chose to try to start at the back and ride this thing for a while, and truck seems okay. It's not the fastest truck, but I've got, like, once again, got it set up to try to conserve the tires. This track eats the tires real quick, so we'll just have to wait and see.
All right, appreciate it. Good luck, David. We'll talk to you soon. And Curtis, if you will go down the starting lineup.
Yeah, starting on the pole tonight is going to be James Ross, fitting as he, as I said, dominated the regular season here. He's going to start the chase off on the pole. 81 truck of Shane Parrish in that Serv Pro Toyota Tundra. He's going to roll off P number 2. Blake Griffith rolling off inside row, position number 3 in his number 7 machine. Josh Tanner to his outside in position number 4. Gerald Campbell in his number 6 machine rounds out your top 5 tonight, and Gabriel Wood making an appearance here, starting off in the 6th position. Mark Jackson will start from the 7th position tonight with William Locklear to his outside. Gary Sexton starting 9th tonight with Sean Kalis to his outside to round out your top 10. Vernon Margheim 11th. Jack Watson the 66 machine starting 12th. Andrew Kessler, the number 98, he's one to watch tonight. He's been really strong, specifically at Gateway this season, which is also another flat track. I remember him saying something about being really excited to come to New Hampshire, so we'll see how his race goes from here tonight. Eric Stanford gonna start behind him in 15th, Ralph Vandervoort 16th, Chad Payne 17th. The rest of these drivers did not take a qualifying time. That would be Tyler Chalk, Tim Cox in the 19 machine, David Wright in the 42, who we just spoke to, Ivan Garcia in the 72, Jeff T. Martin in the 15, Wesley Whitfield in the 71, Jeremy Crandall in the 73, and Danny Rudy going to tag on at the end of the field there in the 25th position, and his number is 037 machine. Pace car is off. We are chase racing here in the 2017 Dented Fenders Truck Series. James Ross wasted no time getting on the loud pedal at the start of that race and got himself a good little jump down into turn number 1, and everybody's battling it out behind them. It looks like Shane Parrish got clear for the 2nd position, and the major battle right now seems to be for the 4th and 5th position. Gerald Campbell trying to make the bottom line work below. I believe
that's Blake Griffin. Yes, sir. Blake Griffin, the number 2. I'm sorry, in the number 7.
And they're 3 wide headed down into turn number 1. I think that's Gabriel Wood, Gerald Campbell, and Tanner, or Josh Tanner on the outside. It's like Josh Tanner going to carry the momentum on the outside. Gerald Campbell not quite able to keep the fender down, and the bottom lane just didn't work at all for the 00 of Gabriel Wood that time. But
yeah, that was the Blake Griffin truck, number 7, Paradigm Technology Toyota. Looks like he's settling back in 3rd position. Go ahead, Curtis. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of these guys are just getting single filed out for the most part here and trying to find some battles on the track. But
well, that'll give us a chance real quick to mention, fans, you are watching the Serve Pro 150 live on All Pro Broadcasting. Like I mentioned just a minute ago, in the booth, you got Curtis Young, myself, Robert McFarland. Serve Pro is a great company. You've probably heard about it before. Unfortunately, had a lot of natural disasters in the United States of America the last few weeks. And Serve Pro is the kind of company, if you have any kind of damage at all, water damage, you want to make sure you get in touch with. Serve Pro has the fastest response time to any disaster, and they are ready for whatever happens. Serve Pro can make it like it never even happened again. They are from the owner of the franchise in this race is that number 81 Shane Parrish truck. He is in Grapevine, Texas. There are over 1,800 franchises, so you will have no problem finding one. And we absolutely salute all small businesses in this great country, United States of America. And we're going to be talking a little bit later about some of the fantastic paint jobs we've got on some trucks here, which we'll get to later, which also salutes our American flag. Go ahead, Curtis.
Right now I see David Wright and Chad Payne side by. Oh, and David Wright almost gets in the back of Tim Cox. It looks like Tim Cox gets loose. It looks like he's going to go around and hit the inside wall of the backstretch. Not a good start for Tim Cox. We can get a replay up of that one. It looks like he... yeah,
he just coming off the corner. He gets loose in that NVIDIA number 19 Silverado. We stay green. It's the EVGA Gaming Chevrolet Silverado. He's got some right front, left front damage. He does keep it rolling. Hopefully he can get a chance to come down pit road and get that damage fixed.
Yeah, I didn't see exactly how hard he hit the wall, but didn't look good to say the least. And that's where this track will bite you, is just coming off the corner. You got a little bit too much wheel into it, it snaps loose on you. That's exactly what I was talking about. So that's unfortunate for Tim Cox in the 19, but you know, three races in this round, plenty of time to make it up. I think he is in the chase, so.
Yes, he'll have plenty of time with the three rounds, although like we heard him talking about before, this is 33% of your chance to make it to the next round. So if you don't have a good race tonight, you've only got 2 more shots. If you have 2 bad races in this 3-race round, Curtis, I don't think you're going to be able to make it up unless you win. Because obviously if you win in one of these 3 races, you do automatically transfer to the next round of 16.
Yeah, I mean, it hurts to have a bad race, but it's not the end of your chase, is what I was trying to say. I mean, exactly. You definitely don't want to have one, but if it happens, It's just, it's you just got to roll with it, and see what you can do for the next 2 races. And it looks like I just saw Jack Watts clear the number 24 of Eric Stanford. Judd Danielson is hot on Eric Stanford's heels. That is a battle for 13th through 15th there with the 66, the 24, and the 85 machine. And a lot of these guys are, I haven't seen too many side-by-side battles. I did see Chad Payne and David Ray going at it for a little bit there, but they seem to have worked things out for the most part. And yeah, I'm actually pretty surprised that some of these guys aren't a bit closer to each other.
Yeah, right now we do have, looks like the Mission 22 of Gabriel Wood. He's in that 00 Silverado. He's making a run on the NP3 Designs Toyota Tundra 84 of Josh Tanner. He almost made the pass there. He made a look on the inside, was not able to completely come off the corner. He's going to dive bomb it back in beside him. He almost makes contact. This is some really close racing. Looks like the 00 Mission 22 Silverado of Gabriel Wood might be able to get it coming off the corner here, but it looks like right now, Curtis, in my opinion, this outside groove is going to be the fastest way around the track. Maybe on brand new tires, because these tires do fall off quite a bit. That inside line might work. In my experience, I was in happy hour earlier in the truck, and the inside groove is very slick. As you can see now, Gabriel Wood is continuing to try to make that move, but he is unable to get to the side, even come close to completing that pass on Josh Tanner.
And another thing about Gabriel is he's definitely a good enough driver. If he was able to make all the races this season, he would most definitely be in this chase. He's the races that he's shown up, he's ran in the top 5 the entire time, and yeah, he's glad to see him out here tonight anyway. I know he had an unfortunate ending to his last race, and his last race didn't last very long either, so hopefully this one goes a bit better for him. I think I jinxed him last time by saying that, and I probably just jinxed him again, but yeah, I know he'll be out here looking to steal a win away from one of these chase drivers and make things a little bit more difficult for them.
Yes, sir, Curtis, and for you fans joining us, we do appreciate you being here very much. I'm going to give you all the details on how you can win that free large street topping Domino's pizza that we give away every Wednesday night and every Thursday night here live on All Pro Broadcasting. But fans, so you'll be able to keep up, and we do have a caution. We're going to get the replay pulled up. I'll get right back to that once these guys make pit stops.
It was Josh Tanner. It looks like Josh Tanner in the 84 machine got loose coming off of turn number 4 and just wiggled. And it looks like Gabriel Wood did an amazing job avoiding him. No contact at all between the 00 and the 84. And yeah, Josh Tanner just got loose and looped it around.
Yeah, he almost was able to correct that, but not quite. It looks like he was correcting it. It got loose again, and the contact he made with the wall was not too much. He definitely has some right rear fender damage on his truck, the number 84. He's trying to get caught back up with the field. And Curtis, after 14 laps, I'm guessing these guys are definitely going to be coming down pit road for some brand new tires and maybe some more fuel. What do you think?
Yeah, it looks like the 51 of James Ross coming down pit road right now, and next truck behind him, Shane Parrish, doesn't get in. And he's about 5 truck lengths behind him entering the pits, so that doesn't work for if you're trying to get back out in front of him. So good job for James getting in there as soon as he saw that the pit lane was open. You know, he probably had a little bit of a scare getting down pit lane there, because I think there was some lap cars that were already coming down for pit road, and pit road wasn't even open for them, so they're gonna have to serve a penalty for that. But a lot of guys maybe taking 2 tires here, I'm not sure. Well, I saw a lot of trucks pull out in front of James Ross, Wesley Whitfield, Jeremy Crandall, Jeff Martin. Okay, those guys, I think, I'm not exactly sure what they did. I'll have to wait and see what happens when things cycle through here. Right now, Gary Sexton is going to be is going to lead this lap when he crosses the line.
Yeah, one thing I was going to mention, sorry about that, Curtis, is for you fans, how you can keep up with the drivers who are in the chase as you're following along on your TV or your device, the trucks that have a yellow front splitter and a yellow spoiler in the back, those are going to be the 20 trucks that are qualified for the chase for 2017. So as you're watching, you see a truck, and they usually will be up front unless they have an incident on the track. Those are the trucks that are going to be fighting for the championship. The trucks without a yellow spoiler or splitter in the front, those drivers did not make the chase, but they are here to fight and here to race hard and here to get a top 5 or a win. And one other thing I want to mention to you fans while we are here under caution is the details for how you can get this free large 3-topping pizza. All you have to do, fans, is be the first fan to accurately predict the winner of this race before halfway, which will be lap 75. You can text 919-883-7497. Or, if you're watching on your device, you can click I choose this driver to win the race. Don't pick 2 drivers. Don't pick one now. Wait 20 laps. Pick a second. Pick a third one in 40 laps. Wait. Pick one driver. If you pick 3, I can't honor all those 3 picks. So take your time. Pick one driver. First fan to actually predict the winner will win a free large 3-topping Domino's pizza, carry out only, from any store in the United States of America, for free. What did I forget on that, Curtis?
Carry out only? I'm not sure if you said that, but yeah, I think that's about it. Pace car lights are off though. Going back green flag racing. James Ross does have the lead. Again, wastes no time getting on the loud pedal and gets a good jump down into turn number 1. It looks like number 7 of Blake Griffith jumping below the number 81 of Shane Parrish, looking to steal away the 2nd position. Can Shane Parrish keep the momentum going on the outside? It looks like that's exactly what he's going to be able to do. Gabriel Wood gets a good run and jumps into that 4th position, while the 7 of Blake Griffith jumps up in front of him, and see if Gabriel can make it up past the 7 machine of Blake Griffith. He's just gained 1 position there, and so has the 6 machine of Gerald Campbell, so he's made his way into the top 5, and always another one of those guys who pretty much runs up front at every track we go to, and I guess New Hampshire is one of his good tracks because he's running up here in the top 5, and we'll see what he can do as well. He's another one that I think he led the point standings for the regular season for most of the way, and I think I'm not sure if he actually ended up being the leader at the end of the last points race or not, but if he wasn't, it was close with James Ross. It's not really that significant because we have the chase format, so it's not really a piece of information that I went looking for, but I think it is something that might have happened is he was leading the points before the chase started. So
yes, Gerald definitely had a very, very consistent run there through the whole not preseason, but the whole regular season. And I did want to give a quick shout out to Blake Griffin, that number 7 Toyota Tundra. It's the Paradigm Technology truck. He does have the yellow splitter and spoiler fans, like I mentioned. He is up to 3rd position, and he spun, when was it, Curtis? Back on lap 4, 5, or 6, really early. There was no caution at that time, but he was able to get his time made back up, and he's back up in 3rd position, having a great run tonight.
and Gary Sexton side by side with Vernon Markheim. It actually looks like Vernon Markheim let him go there. I'm not too sure, but that was for the 8th position, I do believe, or maybe I think the 9th position actually. So yeah. Gary Sexton in that, and Gary gets a little bit loose there, and Chad Payne gets wiggly behind him in the number 9 machine. Not sure if that was caught on camera, but scary ride for the number 2 machine, or the number 9 rather, off of turn number 2.
Yeah, Chad's in that Office HQ Chevrolet Silverado, and a lot of these drivers are going to find this to be the case. This is a very hot track tonight. or this afternoon, excuse me, these drivers are racing in. It's 106 degrees. They're definitely going to be getting loose coming off the corner. That number 9 machine, Office HQ, is exactly what happened to him. Luckily for Chad, he was able to save that machine, but we're going to see a lot more of that. That's at least the third or fourth time we've seen a truck get loose. 2 of them have spun out, and like I said, Chad, with his incredible talent, was able to manhandle that steering wheel and keep it going in the right direction.
And here comes Andrew Kessler trying to make a move on the number 9 of Chad Payne. And Andrew has Mark Jackson and Eric Stanford right behind him. Eric Stanford dives to the bottom of the number 3 of Mark Jackson. He's trying to make it stick. Going to try and make the slide job work off of turn number 2. Can't make it work. They're 3 wide, headed down into turn number 3. Chad Payne stuck on the outside, Mark Jackson in the middle, and Eric Stanford on the bottom. Who's going to come out of this one on top? Looks like Mark Jackson going to make the middle line work, and Eric Stanford going to follow through. Chad Payne going to get the short end of the stick on that one, as he now has Judd Danielson to his inside.
Yeah, that's an exciting race right there. It looks like the 24 of Eric Stanford. He's probably in that ES Billiards, number 24, Toyota, does complete the pass. So does Judd Danielson, that number 85. And Judd's got a new paint job on his machine tonight. Looks like Judd is driving that Stills Timber Sports Toyota Tundra. Good to see Judd and that number 85 having a great run up in 16th. Also with a great looking paint job. Looks like the front of that truck, same thing, Still Timber Sports. Looks like we all have heard of Still, and if you got some trees to cut up or some trees to cut down or some firewood you got to get ready for the winter. I know you, Curtis, up there in Canada. I don't know if you burn firewood or not, but a lot of people do, and that's what you want a Still product for.
Yeah, I only do that when I'm camping, but yeah, I don't have a wood-burning fireplace or anything, but yeah, like you said, a lot of people do. It's a pretty good money saver, so. But
back up front, how's it looking? Looks like the leader, still got the leader of James Ross.
Yeah, he's out to a 1.2 second lead over Shane Parrish right now since we went back green flag around lap 16 or 17, I do believe.
Yeah, why don't we take this opportunity to kind of go through the field real quick. I'll take the first 5. You take, or I'll take the first 10. You take the second 10 if we got time. James Ross, like we just mentioned, he's in that number 51. PowerTech Power Solutions Toyota Tundra running in first position. Back in second, we have Shane Pearson, that number 81 Toyota Tundra. It's the Serve Pro Toyota Tundra. He's having a great run in second. Back in third, we've already mentioned this gentleman, Blake Griffith, the number 7 Paradigm Technology Toyota Tundra up in third. Back in fourth, we mentioned Gabriel Wood in that Mission 22 Silverado. He is up to the 4th position. Back in 5th position, looks like we have Gerald Campbell. He's in that veteran of Foreign Wars Chevrolet Silverado and fans. This is one of the examples of the incredible, fantastic salutes we do and our drivers do to the United States of America and our veterans here on this truck. As you'll notice on the front, he's got a bald eagle with American flag. On the back of this beautiful truck, he has got the same thing, not the same thing, but a different decal and a little storyline. No scars, no story. Gerald is a big patriot of the United States of America. Happy to have him in this race. We talked about him earlier. He's running in 5th. Back in 6th, we have Jack Watts, the first of the Southeast Motorsports trucks. He's in that 66 Silverado, looking good tonight, up in 6th. 7th, we have Tyler Chalk, the second entry of our Southeast Motorsports. Both of these guys have made the chase. Excellent drivers, an excellent team. We're happy they're part of what we're doing here. He's in that 07. Back in 8th, we do have the Hex Cam Toyota Tundra. Gary Sexton, he's in that number 17. He's in 8th. Back in 9th, we do have Vernon Margam, a little bit of right front damage. He's in that Young and Sons Incorporated since 1945 on the hood of that truck, Toyota Tundra. He's in that 33. He's running up in 9th. And rounding out your top 10, look at this. Tim B. Cox had that spin earlier. He's got right front, left front damage. He's in that EVGA NVIDIA Gaming Chevrolet Silverado. He's in the top 10. Who's looking from 11th to 12th there, Curtis?
William Locklear is sitting in the 11th position in his number 4 Budweiser Jimmy John's Chevrolet. And David Wright behind him in his Triad Computer Works Domino's TYJ Racing Chevrolet Silverado. I've always liked that paint scheme, always say that. Actually, sorry, that's David Wright is actually just the next vehicle on the track behind him. He's not sitting in the 12th position. 12th position is actually Mark Jackson, and he's driving that over-the-top paints pad in memory of Nicky truck. So that's a truck that means a lot to him. And right behind him in the ES Billiards Toyota Tundra is Eric Stanford, driving the number 24 machine. Behind him in 14th is the Chef Andy's Aegis Motorsports Toyota Tundra of Andrew Kessler. As I said, he should be one to watch here tonight, but he's not really looking as strong as I expected, so hopefully he figures things out a little bit and can get a little bit farther up than where he is. I'm sure he'd like to be a little bit farther up there, but right behind him is the 15 of Judd Danielson in that still Timber Sports Old Schools Toyota Tundra, and it's actually a good looking paint scheme for Judd. I'm used to seeing him in the regular old dark blue and light blue Domino's truck, so good little change up for Judd. 16th position right now goes to the number 15 of Jeff T. Martin, the Turner Lawn Care Domino's TYJ Racing, or Domino's Pizza rather, State Trooper Chevrolet Silverado SS, and not the best run for Jeff T. Martin either. I'm sure he would like to be a little bit farther up than 16th, but everybody has those tracks where they just know they're not the best, and they're just trying to finish the race and salvage what they can. So that could be what some of these guys that are run up towards the front more often than not are doing, such as Jeff T. Martin and Jeremy Crandall sitting behind him in the 17th position. Jeremy driving the
Yeah, let me talk about his truck just for a minute, Curtis. I hate to jump in, but I talked about to Jeremy earlier before the race. He and his paint crew and his whole team down there spent about 3 days working on this truck in Florida after the hurricane. And this is another way here at Domino's CYJ Racing and All Pro Broadcasting. We salute the United States of America and our beautiful one and only American flag. Real quick, on this truck, his main sponsor is Charlie's Asphalt and Painting. But if you look close at this truck, fans, and you need to do that, he has got the image, he's got the name, excuse me, on the back deck lid of the only 19 men and women who have ever won the Congressional Medal of Honor 2 times in our country's history. There's only 19 of them. And if you look real close on the front, the sides, and the very back of this truck, he has got an image, kind of like a ghost image, of every race and creed of soldier that has fought in all of the wars in the United States of America, from the Revolutionary War to World War II, which are all the wars we fought, or the United States of America fought, to honor our flag. When we salute our flag at the beginning of games, races, and we put our hands on our hearts, and we take our hats off for the national anthem, we are saluting the American flag, basically for all the soldiers that gave us our freedom from the Revolutionary War to World War II. This is a very, very special truck. Curtis, thank you for giving me that chance to explain the paint job on this beautiful number 73, Jeremy Crandall. We appreciate drivers like that. Go ahead.
Hey, I didn't really know where to start on that, because I didn't even really look at it until I was just scrolling through. Went and looked at it, and yeah, I didn't even really know what to say. There's just so much going on it. And it was a lot better for you to explain that, because I was just checking it out as you said that, and man, that's cool. So, right in the 18th position though is the number 166 of Ralph Vandervorst. Looks like he's driving that Fanatec Chevrolet Silverado. Not sure if I think something might be up with my trading paints here with Ralph. I'm not sure why. He must
That's the same thing I see. That's exactly what I see.
Okay, so maybe Ralph's trading paints or something just isn't working or whatever. But yeah, he's in that Fanatec Great Plains Chevrolet Silverado, riding in the 18th position, and the last truck on the lead lap is the 71 of Wesley Whitfield. Wesley is driving the Gentry's Trucking, I believe that is.
Yep,
from,
Southeast Motorsports. Yes, sir.
Roxborough, North Carolina, I believe that is. I'm Canadian, so I'm not very good with my abbreviations for states.
That is perfect. Yep, he's Roxborough, North Carolina is right up the road from where I live here in Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina. Probably 20 minutes, maybe 25 miles. Right up there is a very famous short paved racetrack called the Orange County Speedway. But Gentry's trucking. It's good to see him on that truck. Thank you so much, Curtis. I guess we forgot 20th.
Yeah, 20th right now is Chad Payne, and Chad's driving. Chad has had that paint scheme for a long time. The myofficehq.com Chevrolet Silverado. I think I've even ran a version of that paint scheme when a bunch of us from Domino's ran a Daytona 500 race together. My Office HQ sponsored it, so that is Chad's sponsor, My Office HQ. They've helped us out here in the league quite a bit before too, and as we saw earlier, Chad sustained a little bit of damage, and I don't think we said anything about it, but he got up into the wall coming off of turn number 2, and he had a bunch of trucks behind him, and was basically just forced to keep it up in the wall, and lost like 3 or 4 positions and tore his right side up pretty good. So I'm sure he wouldn't mind a caution.
Yeah, and real quick on Office HQ, if you live anywhere in the Springfield, Illinois area, you want to call and look up Office HQ. They are ready for all of your office needs, and they will sustain.
Back up front, James Ross leading by 2.3 seconds over the number 81 of Shane Parrish. Looks like we have been green flag since lap 17, or lap 18, I believe, is when we went back green flag. So coming up on 30 laps on this run, Robert, what do you think the fuel load is?
Yeah, I have heard in communications up and down pit road earlier when I was in the happy hour practice. These trucks can get anywhere from about 60 to 65 laps on a tank here tonight, this afternoon. So it's going to be really interesting to see, as we are halfway through the fuel run, basically, which drivers might try to pit early this race.
Caution is out. That changes everything. Blake Griffith goes around on the backstretch. I'm going to have to take a look at the replay and see exactly what happened. It looks like he just gets loose.
Yeah, fans, give us just a second to bring up this replay. That's exactly what happened, Curtis. He comes off the corner. Like we just said, these tires got about 30 laps on them. He gets loose. He tries to correct it. And that just brings out the caution flag. And fans, on that note, we're going to take one of our 2 commercial breaks tonight. Again, you are watching the Serve Pro 150 live on All Pro Broadcasting. Make sure you click that subscribe button. We're going to go over the pit stops and give you an update as soon as we come back. Fans, we'll be back in just a minute.
When you're ready,
Serve Pro, how can we help?
help gets there faster. cleanup specialists at 1-800-SERVPRO and ServPro.com. Helping make fire and water damage like it never even happened.
Hey, this is Garrett Smithley, driving the number 0 JD Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting.
Welcome back, race fans, to the Domino's TYJ Racing Serv Pro 150 live on All Pro Broadcasting. It looks like here. What did you see on the pit stops there?
I see Gabriel Wood has gained a position or two. He's up there in the second position, and there's no way that he did anything but take 4 tires. So looks like the 00 pit crew is on tonight. Pace car lights are off. It's pulling off right now. James Ross has wasted no time getting on the loud pedal all night here tonight on these 3 restarts. But Gabriel Wood actually did a pretty good job on the outside line there, keeping things going. He's got Shane Parrish to his inside right now, trying to take that second position away. They're door to door, headed down the backstretch. Vernon Markheim, Gerald Campbell are side by side behind them, and behind them it's Jack Watts and Eric Stanford, and Gary Sexton and William Locklear are 2 by 2 behind them. So side by side everywhere you can look right now. Gabriel Wood trying to make the outside lane work around the 81 of Shane Parrish. He does down in turn number 1. He's clear, and Gerald Campbell and Vernon Markheim, they're still working on each other for the 4th and 5th position. Vernon Markheim has the advantage coming out of turn number 2 right now, but the outside line momentum working for Gerald Campbell. Looks like Vernon Markheim almost let him go just so he could get back up into the outside line in front of the number 24 machine of Eric Stanford.
This sounds good, Curtis. Back second.
So it looks like Jack Watts actually, he's working on the inside lane of the number 24 of Eric Stanford. That's a battle for the 7th and 8th position, and William Locklear just lurking behind them, waiting for something to happen. And it looks like Eric Stanford making the outside line work around the number 66 of Jack Watts, not able to make the pass. And here comes Judd Danielson to the inside of Jeff T. Martin for the 12th position.
Yeah, Curtis, we got battle all over the track here. We got the 7 truck that brought up that caution earlier, Blake Griffith. He's back here in all kind of traffic. And this is the kind of track, as you know, Curtis, there's not a whole lot of difference in the lap times on these trucks. And getting around somebody in a corner is very, very dicey. You get in the corner, the truck wants to get loose. You get on the gas a little bit too soon, the truck wants to spin out. We've seen that 5 times so far tonight. So these guys are battling all over the track, trying to maintain positions, gain some positions back, and not get caught up in an accident or cause one.
Yeah, it's one thing you definitely want to do in the chase is just try and avoid any incident that you can. Just want to try and make it through the races with the best possible finish. You don't really want to try and sacrifice anything that you don't have to unless you really, you need a win or something. So a lot of these guys are probably playing it pretty conservative right now, and that's why I don't think we've seen an incident where a truck actually got into each other yet. I think it was all just self-error, just being under pressure, having trucks behind them, and getting loose coming off the corner.
Yeah, absolutely have to say these drivers are putting on an incredible show here. Do have about the same drivers up front. James Ross, who has all those wins in the regular season, has definitely got a comfortable lead here. Real quick, Gabriel Wood has moved up to the second position. Great on his pit crew, like you said earlier. Shane Parrish in third. Gerald Campbell up to the fourth position. I think he gained some spots. Vernon Margan definitely gained some spots on that last pit stop. Gary Sexton also. We got Eric Stanford. Is up to 7th. Jack Watts 8th. William Locklear 9th. Mark Jackson 10th. I did want to mention to the guys, you've only got right about 15 laps now to get your pick in for the free large Domino's 3-topping pizza. Real quick again, fans, this is how you can win it. The first fan to accurately predict the winner of this race before lap 75 in about 15 laps, and only pick one driver, don't pick 2 or 3. You can either text 919-883-7497, or if you're watching on your device, you can say, I choose this driver in the live chat. We monitor both sources. We will make the announcement at the end of the race who wins that free large 3-topping Domino's pizza from any Domino's store in the United States of America or Canada, carry out only. We do not bring it to you in the truck. You do have to go pick it up, but that offer is good for 1 week from tonight.
Still looking for side-by-side battles on the track. It looks like things are heating up a little bit more than what they were. I just saw the number 19 of Tim Cox look to the inside of Ralph Vandervorst, but wasn't able to make the inside line work. And right now, it's looking like if you're side-by-side, the outside line is kind of more the place to be, especially once the tires get a little bit more worn. Tim Cox has a little bit of a bobble there on the inside line, and that allows the number 7 of Blake Griffith to get back by. So Blake Griffith actually had an EOL penalty. He had to go to the back of the line for spinning and bringing out that caution. So he's got some work to do. He's sitting in the 18th or the 17th position rather. Right now he's making his way around the number 166 of Ralph Vandervorst for the 16th position, setting his sights on. It's actually Josh Tanner in front of him. I'm not sure how Josh Tanner ended up 2 laps down.
Yeah, he had that spin.
Oh yeah,
earlier.
he had that spin. My bad.
Yeah, had some pretty heavy front end damage. I think it was on pit road for a couple of laps after that spin, just trying to get that damage repaired enough. So hopefully he doesn't have a radiator issue later in this race. He's still going to salvage some good points, hopefully, as he is running, like you said, 2 laps down. Looks like he is back there in the 22nd position.
Yeah, and James Ross, I don't think anybody can touch him tonight, as it has been most of the season. He's out to a 2-second lead over the next guy behind him when these guys go green flag for a little while. So
he definitely
definitely
has a fast truck, especially on brand new tires. We did have about a 30-lap run before that last caution, Curtis. And my question is going to be, how is his truck and his tires, how are they going to be after we get into maybe a 45, 55 lap run? I know he's stretching out here, and he is one of our faster drivers, but he has not won all the races this year. Quite a few people have beat him either on pit strategy, fuel strategy, and or him getting caught up in things. So as we've got right at halfway to go, plus 10 laps, so we got, looks like 85 laps to go. Anything can happen.
Yeah, I mean, you could have a caution with 10, 15 laps to go, and leader makes a choice, everybody else makes the opposite choice, and that's all it takes. So it's not over till it's over, and just because you lead 149 laps doesn't mean you win the race. You got to lead the last one. That's the only one that matters. So looking good right now for James Ross, but you know, he knows as well as anybody that it's not over until it's over, and he's just out there keeping his truck clean.
Yeah, you mentioned Tim B. Cox, that number 19 earlier. Looks like he is running back there. What position is he in right now? Looks like he's in the 19th position, first truck, yes sir, 1 lap down. Quick Domino's driver profile. While we are under green fans, a lot of these drivers love to hear about us talk about them on live air, and we know you'd like to find out a little bit more about these drivers that you've been watching all season. Again, we appreciate it, and we're hoping you tune in for the rest of our season for all 3 of our series, the Den Defender Truck Series, Premier Xfinity, which alternates on Thursday nights with the Top Shelf Cup Series. All 3 series are in the chase starting this week, and the chases will wrap up right before Thanksgiving. But Tim B. Cox is from Charlotte, North Carolina. His race team is Cross Continent Racing. He's got a beautiful truck tonight. Some of his sponsors are AJ Junior Auto. He's had about 10 years in the sim. He does have an NIS Daytona 500 open win, and he has got 4 NIS open wins in 2016. And on the back of that truck tonight, he's got a brand new sponsor. I'm thinking if it's the same one I saw a little bit earlier tonight, Curtis, you can help me. He's got the looks like he has had to bring his truck behind pit wall. If I'm not mistaken, he was running tonight the NVIDIA EVGA Gaming as a sponsor on his truck. Beautiful truck. Unfortunately, he's a lap down. And obviously his truck has given up on him tonight.
And actually, one thing that's a little bit off topic that I wanted to talk about. One of our good friends that he hasn't been racing much lately, but used to drive the number 99 truck here in the Den Defenders Truck Series, Chuck Dix. Well, I don't know how many people watching know him, but Robert, you know the problem that he was having. He actually had surgery, I believe it was yesterday, to remove a brain tumor about the size of a golf ball, and got word today that he is doing well for the circumstances, and he should be A-okay, so glad to hear that for Chuck.
Absolutely, Chuck was an incredible racer in our series. He got busy with other things in life, his family, his boating. He's got a huge, I call it a small ship, but it's an incredible yacht down there in Florida, off of Pensacola, or out of Pensacola. He spends a lot of time in the spring getting that thing ready to get out in the ocean. I wish I lived in the Florida, Pensacola area. Chuck has invited me to go on his yacht many times out there fishing, cruising around, and unfortunately I've not been able to make it down there, but it is great news, Curtis. Thanks for bringing that up, that Chuck Dix is doing well, a lot better. It's always good to hear when somebody is diagnosed with something like that and they're able to have the surgery and have it removed, and we are praying for Chuck for a fast, speedy recovery and good health going forward.
And still nobody can catch the 51, James Ross, so.
Yeah, I tell you, we got some serious heated racing back here. Looks like for the 16th, 15th position, the 07 of Tyler Chalk. I haven't mentioned him much tonight. He is making a battle with the 73. That would be of Jeremy Crandall. We mentioned him earlier tonight. Looks like the Southeast Motorsport entry, who is also in the chase in that Toyota 07, is going to hopefully make that pass. Like we said earlier, this inside groove is difficult. The 7 of Blake Griffith was able to complete the pass. And Jeremy Crandall is a great driver. He's a smart driver. He's not easy to get around, but he's also very professional. When a gentleman has got the lane and the lead or the position, Jeremy will let him have it like he just did. But that was some great racing right there for the 15th, 16th position.
And we're getting deeper and deeper into this run. How many laps have we been green flag this time? It looks like just over 22 laps is what we are into this run. So not sure when we'll be looking at pit stops. I think in about 15 laps is when we're inside the fuel window for these guys to make it for the rest of the race. And I'm not sure how much these guys will short pit, because I'm not sure exactly what the tire fall off is across the run, but I'm sure somebody that's back there might try something that's a little bit off the wall.
Well, I tell you one thing, Curtis. We talked earlier about one of our drivers who was very very fast, and I think we had a couple of gateway races in the truck. He won at least one of them, maybe both. You can correct me. Andrew Kessler in that number 98 Chef Andy's Toyota Tundra. He has moved himself up to the 11th position, so he's slowly making progress. Another quick Domino's driver profile on Andy Kessler. He is in that number 98. He is from Belchertown, Massachusetts. His team is Aegis Motorsports. His sponsors are Aegis Motorsports, Chef Andy's Lobster Rolls, PowerTech Power Solutions. He's been in sim racing 5 years. He does not have any real-world racing experience, but you'd be surprised to know that, as good as he is here in Domino's TYJ Racing live on All Pro Broadcasting. And he would like to give special thanks to Dave Washington and Aegis Motorsports. And it wouldn't surprise me, Curtis, to see him up in the top 5 by the end of this race, because he is also another very intelligent, smart driver with an incredible crew behind him.
And it looks like Gary Sexton, he's made his way up all the way to the 4th position. I believe Gary was he was behind Vernon Markheim, so I think he had to make his way around Vernon and Gerald, and I think Jack has actually made his way around Vernon as well, and Vernon's dropped back to the 7th position. So Gary, I believe, had to pass at least 2 or 3 trucks there to get up into the 4th position. He's 5 seconds back off the 3rd position of Gabriel Woods, so he's got some work to do to catch him, or he needs a caution. And right now we still have 17 trucks on the lead lap. Rob Vandervorst is the last truck on the lead lap. He's 20 seconds back, so not really in danger of going a lap down for a little while yet, anyway. And
yeah, real quick, hey, I'm sure these fans are loving these Domino driver profiles while we are under green. Hope I didn't mess up your thought there, Curtis, but we were just talking about Gary Sexton. He's in that Hex Cam Dirty Air Studio Cross-Continent Racing Toyota Tundra. He has made a smart move up. He's in that 17. A couple of facts for Gary Sexton. He is from Colorado Springs, Colorado. His team is Cross-Continent Racing. His sponsors are Paradigm Technology, Hex Cam, Camouflage, Seasons Pizza, Celestron Telescopes, Over the Drive Raceway Karting. He's been in sim racing for only 1 year. He's very fast. He'd like to give special thanks to his fans, All Pro Broadcasting, Cross Country Racing, Judd Danielson. And he's also wanted to mention he just recently got married and has a beautiful son, Julian, who is about 6 or 8 months old now. Got married about a year ago, I think. I'm not real sure on that. It doesn't really matter. But he's a great driver in our series, does a lot to help us out. And he is running up in 4th position. Would not surprise me, Curtis, to see him pull off a win tonight.
yeah, I think it might take a little bit of strategy for Gary here tonight, but definitely not out of reach. He's almost 10 seconds back off the lead, so he's going to have to pull some real strategy out if this race goes green the rest of the way. But if there's a caution, he's got himself, he qualified in 9th, so and that's about where he hovered around the 9th to 7th position for the first 50 laps or so. He's now made his way up into the 4th position, and yeah, that's really all he needs is a caution. I think he might be able to compete with at least Gabriel Wood and Shane Parrish, and you know, maybe James Ross. But tonight, actually, Shane Parrish was losing time the entire night here to James Ross thus far. But looking at the timesheets right now, Shane Parrish is actually only 1.7 seconds back of James Ross. I believe the last time I looked at it, he was over 2 seconds back. So I'm not sure if the gap is shrinking. He just lost a tenth that lap to James Ross, but I'm going to keep an eye on that and keep you guys updated. See if Shane is gaining or losing still, because I think that he for a couple laps there anyway, he was gaining.
Yeah, I think he could be gaining some positions. I was looking at the lap times. Looks like Shane will have a really fast lap, a 31.0, and then he'll have a 31.5, he'll have a 31.2, and then he'll have a 31.4. So this track is very, very technical, Curtis, and you've got to run the perfect line as your tires wear every single lap. From what these drivers told me, what I noticed, from the very first lap, that's your fastest lap in general. No matter how good a racer you are, no matter how perfect you run your line, After that first lap, the tires give up a little bit of grip every single lap. So like you said, we're in about 25 or 30 laps now coming up on into this run. So these drivers' trucks are going to start getting looser and looser, and it's going to be a real interesting to see how many of these drivers can hang on for another 35 laps, which will definitely put them in the window. Actually, they might be close to the window now for pitting.
Yeah, I think if you said 60 to 70 laps, or I think that's what you said, then they're right inside the window right now. We got, I believe it's 64, 63 laps to go. So, yeah, we're inside that window, but it's just a matter of if these guys want to try and go that entire time on these tires. And I think for the most part, if we're still green by lap 120, you'll have seen, 100, you'll have seen most of these guys pit, just because, you know, that we've been green since lap 52, and that pretty much splits the run up if they pit around lap 100, 105. So I think that's what they'll want to do. Some of these guys that want to risk it a little bit farther, they might try and run it out to lap 110, 120, or however far they can make it on fuel. But I think the sooner you can get down there, the better.
Yeah, that is for sure, Curtis. And we are definitely going to see some interesting strategy. I know that these drivers do not want to go so far on these tires that they wreck the truck, but at the same time, they don't want to pit too early and have old tires for the last 10 laps. Obviously, I'm not the crew chief, but I'm sure the crew chiefs down on pit road are running the calculators and having to put new batteries in there to figure out when is the best time to pit. And I think if we stay green, the pit strategy is going to be huge. It looks like right now we have Judd Danielson, that number 85 Still Timber Sports truck, coming down pit road. If we can follow him, we're going to see exactly what Judd does. Sounds like he might be doing a short pit here, because he is running in 16th position. He just went a lap down, but he was running in that on the lead lap in 16th. He slides into a complete stop on pit road. It does look like they're going to come around and put two brand new right side Goodyear Eagles, as they're putting one can of Sunoco Racing Fuel in that Still Timber Sports number 85. Left side's going up. He's getting a second can, packing it full, and he is out of the pit box. Actually, he's waiting for just a couple seconds. Wanted to make sure they got every last drop out of that fuel can, the second one. So he is off pit road. He's definitely going to go lose a lap or two here. But Curtis, as you know, fans you might not know, as everybody does this pit cycle, that should put Judd Danielson back on the lead lap, and he might even gain a few positions, Curtis, by having fresh tires.
Yeah, I think he's still going to be scored at least one lap down. I think it'll only end up being one lap. But, yeah, so he doesn't want a caution to happen right now. But, yeah, I think the sooner you can get down, the better. Might have been a little bit too early for Judd Danielson for where he was sitting. I mean, well, to go for the win anyway, but to go for the win from 16th position is a little bit unrealistic. So what Judd did works for the strategy, what he was trying to do, and that's just gained a few positions farther than where he was. So I think that somebody like Gary Sexton or Gerald Campbell, 11, 14 seconds back, they might be able to swing doing something like that if they pitted around this time and James Ross ran his tires out. But
yeah, just noticed, sorry to interrupt you, Curtis, Gabriel Wood, that 00 Mission 22 truck just came down pit road. He got 4 Goodyear Eagles, 2 full cans of Sunoco Racing Fuel. He's coming back out onto the pit road. So it looks like the pit stops have started. I also heard the 24 ES Billiards of Eric Stanford came down pit road, has new tires. So it's going to be interesting to see how these guys with the new tires cut through the field and how long these leaders can stay out. It looks like we got a whole other slew of trucks on pit road right now. The 66 Jack Watts, the 7 of Blake Griffith, the 17 of Gary Sexton. We're going to follow the 7 of Blake Griffith down pit road as he comes to a complete stop. Looks like the right sides are going up. He's definitely going to get 2. I would be willing to bet 4 Goodyear Eagles, 2 full cans of Sunoco Racing Fuel. Looks like we're going to have a lot of trucks on pit road right now. Gary Sexton's off. Jack Watson, the 66, is off of pit road. It looks like the 07 of Tyler Chalk is coming down pit road. So I think that door has opened, as we all know. And once the first drivers start coming down, most everybody's going to follow.
Yeah, and I think James Ross has a big enough gap that to most people anyway, all he really has to worry about right now is Shane Parrish. I think he's pretty confident in those other guys not even being able to put themselves out in front of him by short pitting. So I think that he's just watching his mirror, seeing what Shane Parrish does, maybe try and get down a lap or two before Shane. But Shane Parrish has actually been knocking a tenth or two off of the lead periodically. It's kind of weird. He was down to 1.4 seconds behind, and then he went back to 1.6 seconds behind. He's now at 1.5 and a half. So he's having, like you said earlier, he's having laps that are quicker than James Ross, but then he's having laps that aren't as quick as James Ross. Caution is out.
That is going to change
Josh Tanner
everything.
again.
Give us a second. We'll get this replay pulled up. Yeah, it looks like the 84 of Josh Tanner. Unfortunately, it looks like his team kind of missed the setup on his truck here at New Hampshire. I did see him put in a lot of practice laps. It looks like he's coming out of turn 3 and 4, and the truck just gets loose, kind of like it did before. He tries to correct, gets right into the outside wall, back to the inside wall, and his night may be over, as it looks like he might have some smoke coming out of that truck.
Yeah, and that is going to trap a couple of trucks a lap down. If not, they're going to have to get the wave around and be at a tire disadvantage anyway. So looks like 9th or 10th, Gabriel Wood, I think, is going to get the lucky dog on this one, or be the last truck scored a lap down. Or the last one scored on the lead lap, rather. Wesley Whitfield going to be the first one scored a lap down. Gary Sexton trapped a lap down. Vernon Margheim, Eric Stanford, Jack Watts, Blake Griffith, Tyler Chalk, and Judd Danielson all trapped a lap down from that caution because they pitted just prior to it. And we'll see how many of those guys take the wave around. I'm sure pretty much all of them are going to. And James Ross gets on pit road and off pit road smoothly and ahead of everybody else that was behind him. The 81 truck looks like he still comes out in the second position, and Mark Jackson still in third. Ralph Vandervorst has made his way all the way up to the fourth position.
Yes, sir, Curtis. This is going to benefit some people, and it's going to hurt some people. And fans, we're going to take our final commercial break. We're going to be right back here on All Pro Broadcasting for the last 50 laps of this race. And to get you up to speed, you are watching the Serpro 150 on All Pro Broadcasting. We'll be back in just a minute.
You're watching All Pro Broadcasting with
Freedom Train.
Did your little storm knock out the power? Well, excuse me for not noticing.
Hate to disappoint you, old man Winter,
Better luck next time.
If the power goes out, your Generac standby generator goes on, automatically.
Down trees? Flash floods? Is that all you've got?
Stand up to the threat of outages with Generac and never feel powerless.
Welcome back, race fans, to Dominic TYJ Racing Denton Fender Serv Pro 150 on All Pro Broadcasting. Chase race number 1 at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, Curtis.
We went back green flag, but it looks like we have a yellow flag out here, Robert, and it's the number 00 of Gabriel Wood going around on the backstretch. Contact with the number 73 of Jeremy Crandall. Sends the number 9 of Chad Payne into the 72 of Ivan Garcia, and that was a pretty big wreck on the backstretch there, Robert.
Yeah, fans, give us just a second. We'll get that caught up. And we will get the replay on that. Looks like the 00 of Gabriel Wood had a little issue there, just like Curtis said. Our All Pro Broadcasting wonderful cameraman's getting the replay pulled up. It definitely looks like the 00 of Gabriel Wood in that Mission 22 truck. He's making a move to the outside of the 72 of Ivan Garcia. He makes contact, like you said, Curtis, with the 73. Makes contact with the 9, the 73. That spins quite a few trucks going around spinning.
And I'm not sure if anybody got absolutely destroyed off that, but we'll see if anybody decides to come down pit lane and try and get a little bit of a tire advantage over James Ross here. Another thing that's cool about James Ross' truck, look at all the winter stickers on that rear spoiler. 9 of them. It looks a little bit uneven with 5 on one side, 4 on the other of that line, so I'm sure James is looking to get the win here tonight and make it a little bit more symmetrical. But
yeah, I tell you what, he sure is. And I got to give big thanks and big hats off to Michael D'Amico with All Pro Broadcasting. These replays that he's pulling up are just incredible. Slow-mo, super slow-mo, you're seeing these trucks spin. Fans, I hope you're getting your money's worth. And just like you said, Curtis, that absolutely is pretty interesting how the James Ross truck has got those winter stickers on the back of his truck. It's definitely beautiful to see, and I know he wants to get at least one more, and I think he might.
yeah, he's I don't even know if there has been a lap that James Ross hasn't led tonight. He started from the pole, and honestly, I think he's led every lap. I'm not positive. I think there actually might have been 1 or 2 on a pit cycle or something where somebody stayed out to lead one. But yeah, other than that, he's just been dominant here tonight as he has been all season, and I'm sure exactly the start to the chase that he was looking for, and it's not finished yet, so he's still got 46 laps to go to close it out, but sitting pretty at the front of the field. He's been absolutely killing it tonight. And Shane Parrish, though, he's been close. He hasn't been quite there, but he's been close. So if Shane can figure something more, a little bit more out, then I think he's got something for James.
Yeah, and that's one thing we don't know yet, Curtis. Has the 81 of Shane Parrish, has he been holding back some? Look, we got Mark Jackson's going to be third. Has he been holding back some? We got William Locklear in the Ford truck up there. Has he been holding back? Real quick, fans, you are watching the Serv Pro 150. Quick reminder, Serv Pro has the fastest response time to any disaster you will ever have. They're ready when you are. Serv Pro can make it like it never even happened. Make sure you visit them or call 1-800-SERV-PRO. It is not too late to have the professionals come take care of your water damage.
We'll see what James Ross does on this restart. If he does what he has on every other restart, he will be gone as soon as that pace car gets 4 tires below that yellow line, and that's exactly what he does. Shane Parrish anticipates it well. James Ross not quite able to get clear and pull up until almost the end of the straightaway, so he doesn't quite get the arc into turn 1 that he wants to. See if Shane Parrish can make something of it coming off of turn number 2. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to get the run. So looking behind them, it's Mark Jackson and William Locklear side by side in the number 3 and 4 machines. Mark Jackson on the inside, Locklear on the outside, and Jackson trying to make the inside line work. It's a little bit of a disadvantage. On the restart, you can make it work down in turn number 1, but other than that, I think you pretty much want to be on the outside if you're trying to make a pass. Kind of have to try and slide job it if you're on the inside line there, but he pinches the 4 up real close to the wall. I think he just gave it up there because he saw the 15 and the 17 and all those other trucks coming behind them. He's happy with the 4th position for now. He figures he'll save his tires and see what he can do later. So I think Mark Jackson just gave up the 3rd position there to William Locklear and didn't want to put up much more of a fight than what he did. But
Well, I tell you one thing, Curtis, we've got 2 facts we can tell the fans right now. All these trucks should have plenty of fuel to make it to the end. Another fact we have is the 81 of Shane Parrish is maintaining only about a half a second behind the leader.
Yellow flag, Robert. Looks like Andrew Kessler goes around and he had some help. It looks like he got hit in the left. Actually, I think the 7 of Blake Griffith got into the back of Andrew Kessler there. That kind of turned him into Ralph Vandervorst. Vandervorst didn't have any issues out of it, but yeah, the 7 just continues to, once he got him sideways, wasn't much he could really do, just continues to drive through him. Backs the 98 into the wall, and Sean Kalis in the 45 machine does a good job avoiding that. Has to take a ride through the grass to do so, but doesn't put a scratch on his truck. Just gets a little bit of grass on the tires and can clean that off under caution here, but
yeah, that's exactly what happens. It looks like the 98, his braking zone was a tad bit earlier than the 7 of Blake Griffith, and Blake got into the back of the 98, that turned him around. Hopefully not too many other trucks were involved in that one. I think it was just those main 2. Is that correct, Curtis?
Yeah, that's right. Just Blake, Ralph Vandervorst almost got a piece of it, but if he did, he just got a little bit of paint scrape, so I think he'll be alright. When the 7 got into the back of the number 98, turned him a little bit sideways, and I think it might have grazed the 166, but I'm not 100% sure. And the 7 is really the one who got the worst end of that. His front end is pretty damaged. Andrew Kessler probably not too happy about it either. His rear end is going to be pretty damaged, and I'm not sure if his truck is going to be exactly the same as what it was. And Robert, did you happen to see if anybody came down pit road, or?
I did not see that. Actually, I did see that. I take those words back. It looks like let me zoom in here and catch this truck real quick.
Get those binoculars out.
It looks like the 17 of Gary Sexton faked coming in and stayed out. Smart move on his part. The 33 of Vernon Margam in that GTR YNS Automotive, he came down pit road from the 9th position. Let me see if anybody else is down here on pit road with him. It looks like a couple other trucks came down pit road as well. The 6, the 66, quite a few more.
And the question is, does anybody have anything for James Ross? I mean, I think the 81 truck might. Gabriel Wood, he was real fast too, but now had some problems, and Jeff T. Martin actually started in the 22nd position. He's made his way up into the top 5. He's always one of those guys who runs up front quite often, so he could be another one that could be the spoiler here for James Ross. And Jeremy Crandall also started in the 24th position. He's up to 7th, so lots of these guys have started deep in the field, making their way up into the top 10 here in the late stages at New Hampshire. Now, the 81 got a pretty good jump on that last restart. Is the 51 going to try and change things up a little bit here on this restart? Gonna see here in just a couple seconds.
Yeah, I'll let you take the restart.
Pace car pulls off, and James Ross doesn't change anything up at all. Shane Parrish still not quite able to stay side by side. James Ross is going to be able to get clear before turn number 1, but he doesn't even turn up to the wall, so still not going to get the arc that he wants. So I'm sure he just wants to give Shane a little bit of room, and they single file themselves out all the way back. Looks almost about to the 10th position, but where it's Jack Watson, the 66, gets a little bit sideways.
Incredible save by the 66. Sorry, Curtis.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jack Watts, he got sideways in turn number 3, just wasn't able to get the run off. Gerald Campbell and Andrew Kessler get by him, but that was a hornet's nest in front of him. And it still kind of is. It looks like Gabriel Wood trying to make his way back up through the field. He's side by side with Vernon Markheim, and in front of them is the 07 of Tyler Chalk. And in front of them, that's the 24 of Eric Stanford. And who's that inside of Eric Stanford? That is Blake Griffith in the 7 machine has actually made his way back up there. So Blake has a damaged truck, and he's staying up there inside the top 10. So if he could get any of that repaired, I'm sure he'd be pretty dangerous. He gets clear, and at 166, Vanderborst gets up into the wall in there, and it's like a bunch of trucks get by him, so that's unfortunate. And Gabriel Wood and Vernon Markheim, they're still battling hard side by side. I think they're still catching up a little bit on the 07 of Tyler Chalk, so here comes Gabriel Wood, almost clear of the 33 of Vernon Markheim, now working on the inside quarter panel, the 07 of Tyler Chalk, and can't quite get there. Can't quite clear the 33 rather, and is he going to dive it down into turn number 3 here? That's exactly what he does. Going to try and make the bottom line work, and that's pretty much all he can do. It's hard to get to somebody's outside here at this track. He's now cleared Vernon Markheim, and still working on Tyler Chalk, and after that it will be Eric Stanford. So I'm not sure where he's going to pretty much stop gaining positions, because you know, when you're just using the inside and everybody else is able to use the outside, it saves your tires a lot better, and Gabriel's going to be burning them up a little bit more than he wants to right now.
Yes, sir, Curtis. He was one of the trucks that came down and got 4 fresh tubular tires. So that is one reason he's able to make some of these passes, but just like you said, the tires are going to wear fast when you're driving them hard like he is right now.
Back up front, Shane Parrish, 0.7 seconds back of James Ross, so still not able to maintain the gap as of yet. But it seemed like on a 30 to 40 lap run is when Shane really started to reel James back in. So, but we have another caution here out on the speedway, and it's Gabriel Wood going around off the bumper of the 07 of Tyler Chalk. Looks like Tyler Chalk gets wiggly, and Gabriel Wood just gets the bad end of that. Gerald Campbell drives into it. Ralph Vanderborst locks it up, and I believe doesn't hit anything, but yeah, the 07 of Tyler Chalk just got wiggly coming off the corner there, and just hooked Gabriel.
Yeah, as we get the replay pulled back up, that is exactly what happened. Happened. The 07 of Tyler Chalk just got a little bit loose and tried to correct. unfortunately got a little bit of the right rear bumper of the 00 of Gabriel Wood, unfortunately. So I'm going to let you watch pit stops, Curtis, and let us know what's happening on pit road if you see anything.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on James Ross here. He looks like he's going to come down pit road. Shane Parrish is going to follow him. Everybody is going to come down pit lane here.
Yeah, we got about 30 laps to go. It'll be about 28. So hopefully these guys, they're definitely going to need, they're getting brand new tires. We'd like to see if anybody takes 2 tires there, Curtis.
Yeah, I don't think any, it could be an interesting call, but I don't think anybody's going to do it. Pretty much 20 laps on these tires, so Jeff T. Martin, actually, he might have done that because him and Eric Stanford, they both beat the 51 off of pit road, and it was a close battle with the 81 there. So I do believe it was a 2-tire call for Eric Stanford and Jeff T. Martin. Jeff T. Martin went into the pits in the 6th position. Eric Stanford went in the 9th position. So we'll see if that pays off for those guys if they end up finishing farther back or farther ahead than where they went in and taking 2 less tires than everybody else.
That will be interesting to see if those 2 tires, they can hold them off. With about 26, 28 laps, that is going to be a challenge with 2 tires.
Yeah, I think they know they're not going to be able to hold them off, but they're just thinking, you know, maybe they can get a better finish out of them just taking 4 and taking their track position that they had.
Yeah, this restart's going to be interesting. I think as we get closer to the end, Curtis, and fans in the Serve Pro 150, I think the intensity is going to pick up.
Well, the sense of urgency for some of these drivers is certainly going to, they've been looking at the back bumper of the 51 the entire night. I'm sure the 81 has got to be a little bit sick of it anyway. He's been riding within 1 to 2 seconds the entire race, and like you said, he could be holding back a bit, but I think if he has been, now is really the time when, you know, you can't be doing that anymore. So James Ross and Shane Parrish, they're going to start from the 3rd and 4th position rather than James Ross being the control car this time. Outside line kind of seems to be the place to be, so this could be Shane Parrish. Could be Shane Parrish's opportunity to get around the 51 when he doesn't really have a place to go. The outside line could get the momentum, and James Ross just might not be able to be clear and be able to pull up there. So it really depends how the restart goes. I'm sure Jeff Martin is going to get a good start down at turn number 1 there. Eric Stanford should be able to almost stay side by side with him. As I say that, they get going, green flag, and Jeff T. Martin clears the 24 before they hit turn 1, pulls it up there, and James Ross didn't get the best restart, but he throws it into turn number 1 there and gets side by side with Jeff T. Martin. Is Jeff T. Martin even going to be able to lead a green flag lap before James Ross takes over the lead? And it looks like James Ross again just can drive it in so much deeper on those newer tires. He's going to be able to get clear of the 15 and pull it up off of turn number 4. James Ross back to the lead. Jeff T. Martin still sitting in 2nd. We'll see how long it takes the 81 of Shane Parrish to get around.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Shane is going to make short work of the 15 of Jeff T. Martin. That was a great strategy call for Jeff T. Martin and Eric Stanford. We do have another caution, fans. Give us just a minute to pull that replay up.
Slight contact between the 98 and the 73. That's Andrew Kessler and Jeremy Crandall battling hard for the 9th and I believe it was the 10th and 11th position actually. The 98 and the 73 come together, and 73 gets sideways, just tries to save it, overcorrects back up into the wall and hits it pretty good. He was actually going pretty slow when he hit it, so he should be okay for at least the next 25 laps, which is the rest of the race. And yeah, nobody else got involved in that one. Nobody else hit him, but Andrew Kessler. Yeah, it didn't even dent Andrew Kessler's fender, so very minor contact. Just 73 wasn't quite able to hold on to it with the amount of angle that the 98 gave him when they got contacted together.
That was very, very slight incidental contact. The 98, he was off the gas, you can tell. The 73 was getting back on the gas. Looks like in that particular case, Curtis, to me, two drivers going over for the exact same position on the track. Very little incidental contact. These trucks have such little grip in the corner that any kind of contact at all, especially if you're back on the gas, is going to send one around.
I'm surprised Shane Parrish didn't try and maybe come down pit lane that time and get some better tires than what the 51 would have and put himself in the driver's seat, so to say.
Yeah, it's going to make for another very interesting restart and replay. And we're going to bring that right to you. Looks like we're going to have about 20, maybe 21, 22 laps to go on this restart.
Yeah, I think we're going to have... Lights are not off atop the pace car yet, so I think we're going to have around 20 to go at the restart.
Looks like the 166 of Ralph Vandervoorst came down pit road. Probably got a little damage fixed. Maybe got some new tires for this last little run to the end. I'm looking to see if anybody else came down pit road with him. Does look like he was the only taker. But running 17th, it's going to be one lap down. He may be able to get the lucky dog if we do have another caution there, Curtis.
Yeah, Sean Kalis and Ralph Vandervoorst, they're the next in line for a lucky dog, so it'll be between those two in the 166 and the 45. And the unfortunate part about that is I believe the only reason they're even a lap down is because they tried to play the short pit game and just got bit. So unfortunately they're riding a lap down now, but lights are off atop the Mustang pace car, and yeah, we're gonna have 20 laps to go at this restart. James Ross in control of the field, and I gotta wonder if he's ever gonna do anything different on these restarts. Looks like these guys are starting to figure it out a little bit. That's when I'd be changing it up. You're the control car. You can, you know, you can get that advantage if you time it right, and why wouldn't you? So I would be surprised if he went right when the pace car went off. Honestly, that's what he's been doing all night. So maybe that's what he's gonna do, just so he doesn't get ran over and cause an issue. But so that's exactly what he does. Jeff T. Martin doesn't get the best jump behind him. It was almost like he wasn't ready. Ends up a couple truck lengths behind the 81 of Shane Parrish, but the two trucks that have been up front all night, they're back up front, and we'll see what they can do with each other. But behind them, the battle for just inside the top 5 with Eric Stanford, Jeff T. Martin, and Gary Sexton is heating up. William Locklear actually to the inside of Gary Sexton there as well, and Gary Sexton with a big run on the outside of the number 3 of Mark Jackson. He sails it into turn number 1 and isn't quite able to keep the momentum rolling through the center. They're the 3 and the 17 are side by side coming off of turn number 2, and they're 2 by 2 by 2. So that's Eric Stanford and Jeff T. Martin up at the front, Gary Sexton, Mark Jackson, and then Blake Griffith and William Locklear, and they're almost 3 wide. Gary Sexton in the middle, and Gary Sexton gonna make it work and pulls up in front of Jeff T. Martin so he can get that arc in, and Jeff T. Martin goes to the extreme high line there, 3 wide for just a second. Mark Jackson on the bottom. This is Mark Jackson gets wiggly, he saves it. Jeff T. Martin checks up, and the 7 of Blake Griffith gets into the back of him a little bit, so just a chain reaction there with Mark Jackson getting loose, and the guy's not able to check up in time. That's going to file these guys out a little bit. Now Mark Jackson and William Locklear side by side.
Yes, and up front it looks like, this is definitely the battle of the track, but up front it looks like Shane Parrish has got an even closer position behind the leader of James Ross. Now he's only 0.3 of a second back, which is about as close as we've seen him 2 or 3 laps after a restart.
Yeah, I think that is as close as we've seen him. And the 15 of Jeff T. Martin gets up into the wall in turn number 3. That allows Andrew Kessler and Vernon Markheim to get by him. He now has the 85 of Judd Danielson to his inside. So we'll see if Judd can make it by the 15 of Jeff T. Martin. It wasn't bad contact for the 15, but it was enough. And the 33, he cuts way down when the 85 had a big run on him, so the 33 almost chopped the 85 there, and 85 had to get out of the gas. 15 of Jeff T. Martin gets back by the 85 of Judd Danielson. Now Judd is stuck battling with another truck, and that is, somebody goes around on the front stretch. I'm not sure who that was. That was Andrew Kessler.
It looks like the 98 of Andrew Kessler.
And this is what I talked about. Caution with 15 laps to go. What I'm sure James Ross is, it's really no question in his mind of what to do. He's going to stay out. But it's the guys behind him. Are they going to come down and try and get those extra 15 to 20 lap fresher tires and just have that advantage over James? It's a pretty big risk for the 81 of Shane Parrish, who he hasn't shown the strength to do it all night, but on that last restart he looked as strong as he has all night. So does he risk it and try and get the better tires and know that he'll have probably a better truck than James Ross, or does he just stay where he is and, you know, battle for it with what he's got, probably just hold on to the second place finish and move on in the chase?
You see anybody pit on that caution there, Curtis?
No, I think they just caught up to the base car there, Robert. So if they're pitting, it will be this time by. Keep an eye on that. 13 laps to go here from New Hampshire. Race number 1 on our 2017 Domino's TYJ Dented Fenders Chase. So it's a whole new season for these guys tonight. As I said at the top of the show, James Rossi's won 9 races this year, but it don't matter now. He's got to keep the momentum up, and he doesn't even think about coming down pit lane this time, and it doesn't look like anybody else is really gonna be a taker either. So everybody else is everybody's pretty much gonna stay out on these how old are these tires? Let's take a look here. It looks like they're only 8 laps old, so nothing major. These guys should have absolutely no problem running out the rest of these 10 laps of the race without having anything too crazy happen with their tires. And yeah, we'll see what happens up front here. I think anybody inside the top 5 has the potential to you know, be able to win. Gary Sexton and Eric Stanford and William Locklear haven't been as strong as the 51 and the 81 here tonight, but they they just have that drive in them where they can, if it comes down to a situation like this, it doesn't matter if they've been as fast as them all night. They can dig deep and make something happen. So we'll see if something like that does happen, or if James Ross is able to hold all these guys off as he has shown his dominance all night, qualified on the pole, led pretty darn near every lap here tonight, and be a disappointment to say the least for him, I think, if he didn't walk away with the W and punch his ticket to round number 2.
Very good, Curtis. Again, fans, you are watching the ServPro 150 on All Pro Broadcasting. Make sure, fans, you do click that subscribe button. We will update everybody who wins that free Domino's pizza at the end of the race. The picks are already put in, but if you click that subscribe button, you will get notification when all of our races come on Wednesday and Thursday night at 8:50 p.m. Eastern. And that will be your chance to win another large, free, three-topping large pizza.
The lights go off atop the iRacing.com Mustang pace car, racking them up with 9 laps to go on the restart, and hopefully this is our final restart of the night. Hopefully these drivers can run it out green flag for the rest of the way. Did a good job for the most part of the night, and cautions breed cautions is all I can really say for the last 30 laps or so, and hopefully they can clean it up a bit here for the end of it. I know the track has probably changed quite a bit. There's probably some marbles, some rubber that wasn't there at the beginning, wasn't there for these guys' practice sessions, and some things they have to deal with that they never had to deal with before. So
yeah, I tell you what, this track does have a lot of rubber put down on it. I'm not sure many of these drivers have driven in a pack with this much rubber on the track. I'll let you take the restart, Curtis.
Pace car pulls off for what could be the final time tonight here in round number 1 of the chase. James Ross gets a good jump down into turn number 1 as he has all night. Gary Sexton and Eric Stanford look to be the first battle side by side, and looks like they're door to door. Gary Sexton getting a little bit of a run down into turn number 3. Trying to make the outside line work. He gets clear for the 3rd position. Gary Sexton as high as he's been all night, I think. And Mark Jackson trying to clear the number 4, William Walkler, for the 5th position. He does clear him down in before the front stretch even, actually. Now Mark Jackson trying to work on Eric Stanford.
Yes, it does look like Shane is definitely keeping a little bit closer with James Ross in the lead. And it looks like Gary Sexton, like you just said, he's gotten up to 3rd place. He might have something for him, although the laps are going to wind down very fast here.
So Gary Sexton is in position. Hasn't quite had as quick of a truck all night as the 51 and the 81, as I mentioned, but he's right there, and if something happens between those 2 drivers, he'll be right there to capitalize. And it doesn't really look like the 24 is gaining on him too much, so I'm sure the 3rd place position would be satisfactory for the 17 machine. He qualified in 9th, and not the best qualifying effort, but not the worst. And I'm sure he didn't really expect a top 3 with a qualifying effort like that. So he'll be happy with it. He's riding 1.1 seconds off of the lead. We're coming to 5 laps to go this time at the line, I do believe. And James Ross has stretched his lead to almost half a second, so Shane Parrish has really got to do something now if he wants this one. And that ServPro machine has looked good all night, but just not quite as good as the 51, and he's going to have to kick it up a notch here with 5 to go if he wants something out of it.
Yeah, we had a pretty serious battle. The 7 of Blake Griffin does get around the 4 of William Locklear. I think William might have a little bit of damage as we do come down to 4 laps to go. Another side-by-side battle behind them. Looks like we got Gabriel Wood on on the inside of Judd Danielson. That'd be the 00 and the 85. As they come off the corner, we'll see which one can win the drag race. Looks like down the front stretch here. Judd has it for now, but Gabriel's got a little bit of damage himself. He's going to dive it back in on the inside to see what he can do. Looks like Judd will prevail. How's it looking up front?
James Ross is pulled away by another tenth. It's now, the gap is now 7.5 tenths of a second. So Shane Parrish giving it all he's got, but 51 just too strong here tonight. And coming to 4 laps to go. Looks like Shane Parrish actually hacked off half a tenth that last time by, so he might have something for him, but I think it's too little too late. As long as James Ross hits his marks and runs the kind of lap times that he's been running all night, there's not really much that the 81 can do at this point. Needs to be just a little bit closer and needs a little bit more laps, and coming to 3 to go this time by for the 51.
Yeah, another battle back on the track. We got Mark Jackson in that number 3 truck, beautiful painted Southeast Motorsports pad truck. He's got all kind of heat from the 7 of Blake Griffin. Blake drives it in there hard. He's in that Paradigm Technologies truck. Both of these drivers are fighting for positions. They race off the corner side by side down the backstretch. It looks like Blake will have the advantage at this point.
And Shane Parrish still chipping away at that gap just a little bit. It looks like it's closing. 5 tenths of a second now, so still not close enough, I don't think. With 2 laps to go, he's going to have to gain 2.5 tenths a lap. He's about 8 truck lengths off. I think he drove it a little bit too hard coming off of turn number 2 there and lost a couple truck lengths, but he drives it hard in turn number 3 and closes that gap again. So coming to the white flag here in chase race number 1 here in the 2017 Defenders Truck Campaign. James Ross is going to lead him to the white flag, and Shane Parrish is going to have to basically not take his foot off the gas to get to the 51 of James Ross here. I think he's led almost every lap here tonight. He won 9 races in the regular season, and he's going to punch his ticket to round number 2 here tonight with win number 10 on the season from New Hampshire. James Ross wins it.
Great run by James Ross. Great second place there by Shane Parrish in that number 81. It looks like Gary Sexton, Eric Stanford, Blake Griffin had a great run. William Locklear, not really a surprise, but a great run for him. Jeff T. Martin as well. Judd Danielson moved all the way up for a 9th place position. And it looks like Wesley Whitfield came back for a 10th place position.
So James Ross gonna bring it around and do the burnouts and go through post-race tech and make his rear spoiler a little bit more symmetrical with that 10th win sticker. He's absolutely flooring it when he's burning that thing down, so he's happy to be in the second round, and he doesn't have to worry about the next 2 races now. He's in. He's only got to worry about winning 1 more to get into the championship race, and so 2 more races really, and James Ross can win this championship. But yeah, we'll go down through the finishing order. James Ross wins here tonight. Shane Parrish finishes second in his number 81 machine. Gary Sexton finishes in 3rd. Eric Stanford finishes 4th. Blake Griffith 5th, Mark Jackson 6th, William Locklear finishes 7th here tonight, Jeff T. Martin 8th, Judd Danielson finishes in 9th, Wesley Whitfield 10th, Gabriel Wood finishes here tonight in 11th, Jack Watts 12th, Gerald Campbell finishes 13th here tonight, Tyler Chalk 14th, Ralph Vandervorst 15th. That will round out your drivers that finish on the lead lap. Sean Kalis finishing 1 lap down. Jeremy Crandall finishing 2 laps down. Chad Payne finishes 18th place, 2 laps down. Ivan Garcia 19th place. David Wright rounds out your top 20 in his number 42 Triad Computer Works machine. Andrew Kessler finishes 21st here tonight with Vernon Markheim behind him in 22nd. Josh Tanner 23rd with a rough night here tonight for that number 84 machine. Tim Cox finishes in 24th, and Danny Rudy finishes in the 25th position here tonight, rounding out your field.
All right, thank you very much, Curtis. It looks like you have caught up with our third place finisher, Gary Sexton. Take it away, Curtis.
Gary, solid third place run for you here tonight. Qualified in 9th, and first 50 laps or so, you didn't really break your way into the top 5. After that, you did make your way into the top 5. Then you kind of fell back out again. On that long green flag run, you made your way back up there. There's a couple cautions. You found yourself in 4th place, and on the final restart, you got back up into 3rd. I mean, what was it like? How was the truck out there tonight? It looked like it was quite the handful.
Yeah, it was my whole season summed up in one race right there. Didn't start off well, didn't qualify good, pounded the wall in qualifying, so tried to reset it and do it again and just overdrove it. Started 9th, not where I wanted to start. Planned on starting up here in the top 5, and then that I got the pit road was open for me. I think it was first car. It opened for me and the guys in front of me when I got up there. So I dived on pit road thinking I could squeeze one out and just shot myself in the foot. Ended up, back there like you said, and made up a few spots and then fell back again and made up a few more spots. Fell back and just kept at it. Eventful. But glad I'm here doing an interview with you guys in the top 3. I don't think anyone had anything for James. As always, he's class of the field. But I feel like if I could have ran up behind these guys a little bit and learned a little bit more about what they're doing, I might have had a little more for him there at the end. But overall, a pretty good race. Can't complain too much for how eventful it was. There's a few times I thought I'd leave here on the wrecker, but didn't. Sitting here in 3rd, should be a good points day, and we'll move on to, I think, Las Vegas next week, so I'm looking forward to getting back to some fast tracks.
Yeah, always good to get a good start, especially when you have 3 rounds here, only 3 races. You don't really want to have a bad race if you don't have to. So, Gary, who would you like to thank here for helping you get it done here, finishing 3rd tonight?
Yeah, I'll start by thanking my team, Cross Continent Racing, especially here in the trucks with bringing Blake Griffith on. He's really good at this track. He had a lot of misfortune tonight, too, so he wasn't quite able to get up here. And yeah, he's a new guy on the team, but he taught me a lot about running here amongst some other guys out there. My family for, dealing with me out here when I'm spending 2 hours on Wednesdays and Thursdays running. Can't thank them enough. Thank you guys up in the booth. Domino's TYJ, Racing, All Pro Broadcasting with Michael D'Amico, everyone that's helped me get faster and faster and faster over the season. Judd, David Washington, all you guys are awesome, and I really appreciate it. And looking forward to the rest of the chase. Should be pretty fun.
All right, Gary. Well, congratulations. We'll let you go, and we'll see you on the track tomorrow for the Top Shelf Cup race.
Yes, sir, Curtis. If you need somebody to push you in that new paint job, I'll push you a few laps.
Yeah, for sure. So, thanks, Gary. See you tomorrow.
See you guys.
And thank you, Gary and Curtis. Yeah, I have caught up with our 2nd place finisher. Talking it over with the winner there, but we've got in the booth now. I actually interviewed Shane Parrish. Shane, this is Robert and Curtis in the broadcast booth. Great run tonight. Congratulations on the 2nd place finish. Tell us how your night went and what you could have done different.
Well, definitely couldn't have done much different with James up front. He was definitely very consistent and fast here. This is the first time I ever raced here, so I spent a lot of time with my crew chief, Dave Washington, and spent a lot of laps in here, a lot of learning to get where I'm at, so I feel really, really good. Burnt my tires up a couple times on the right front, a little bit more than I should have, just trying to keep the pace. But all in all, great night for the Serpro Toyota. Really had a good time out there, and Aegis and the whole team. Congratulate James on his win, and Gary Sexton there on that 3rd place. That was good for where he was at and what happened through him through the race.
Yeah, a lot of drivers encountered some bad luck. Some drivers encountered some good luck. The cautions flew at bad times for some drivers and the perfect time for other drivers. Things happen. That's why they call it racing. Congratulations again. Who would you like to thank for this great second place finish and the great start you've got in the chase for 2017?
Looking forward to the chase. I'm definitely going to have to find a couple things extra there for James up front to try to get him and a couple of other guys back. Gary and some of them are very fast, but it's going to be fun through the chase. Want to thank all the fans. First off, come in and watch our channel. We love having you. It's great. Thank you for staying. Love to thank Serpro, the opportunities they give us, and foremost Aegis Racing for letting me join a while back and being a part of their team, and my crew chief Dave Washington for the time he spends with me. It's been a huge learning experience since the half of this season to where I sit now. Just love it, and thank you guys up there in the booth for putting on the broadcasting, and Domino's TYJ for what they do, and everybody out there, go get a Domino's pizza tomorrow. Help support the cause.
Hey, thanks a lot, Sheriff. Parrish. We'll definitely see you tomorrow night in the Top Shelf Cup race. Fans, more information on that in just a minute. But I think Curtis has made his way all the way down to Victory Circle to talk to our winner. I think it might be number 10, James Ross, in that number 51 truck. Go ahead, take it away, Curtis.
Yeah, and we did it 9 times in the regular season, and here we are, round number 1 of the chase. James, you get the job done. Punch your ticket through to round number 2. Win number 10 on the year. You get to make your spoiler a little bit more symmetrical with those win stickers. I think you led pretty much every lap here tonight, unless somebody stayed out under caution to lead one. Just a dominant win here tonight. Nobody had anything for you. I mean, how'd you do it? That was I think the most dominant one I've seen you win all year.
Yeah, I mean this is playoff time, so actually was running quite a bit with Shane there. Actually, he's pretty much matching my pace, but yeah, we were talking back and forth on the radio and just saying just turn the mirror off and hit your marks. And this place, flat track, you got to be so patient. So it's just a matter of bearing down and making sure to hit the marks. Take care of your stuff, and here you can see it made a bigger difference later in the run.
And I mean, with all the wins you had all year, and with the chase format we have, it's always got to be in the back of your mind that getting wrecked out or having a bad race could completely take you out. So what's it like to just get this win out of the way right away and not have to worry about it for at least 2 more races?
Oh, it's a huge relief. I mean, now now we can play around and try things with strategy, or whatever we want in the next couple of races. They're kind of freebies for us, so definitely takes a lot of weight off. I mean, I knew we were going to be good here. It's just one of the places that tends to suit my style a bit, but there were some tense moments getting around some lap traffic and second guessing myself, and all it takes is one little zigger zag the wrong way, and instead of sitting here in victory lane, you're sitting back in the pits in your hauler wondering how it happened. So yeah, glad to get this one out of the way for sure.
Yes, chase time's definitely pretty stressful, and it's always good if you can avoid that stress for a race or two. So congratulations, and who helps you get it done, James?
Well, I got to give a special shout out this week to Andy Kessler, who painted up this truck for us tonight. So he's responsible for the wind stickers and everything else you see. The Chef Andy's, Aegis, PowerTech, Toyota Tundra look great tonight. Shout out to all my Aegis teammates. Obviously, Dave Washington, spend a ton of time with him. He's a guru. He's up on top of the box for me tonight. Shane Parrish. Eric tonight, Eric Stanford with a great finish in 4th. Sean K-List, Gio, Ross, Dylan, Daniel, Julio, the whole team, they're great. And of course, to my wife and kids, couldn't do any of this without them. So yeah, that's pretty much everyone that helped get it done for the 51.
All right, James, well, congratulations, and we'll see you next week for the, I believe next week is the next chase race, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyways, congratulations, and we'll let you go.
Thank you, Curtis.
Thank you, Curtis. Appreciate that. We do have a quick update on the free pizza winner. The winner tonight was another James Peterson. He is out of Richmond, Virginia. Maybe he likes the first name James. He picked James Ross, or maybe he knows that James won a lot of races so far. So James Peterson from Richmond, Virginia will be picking up his large 3-topping pizza carryout only. And Curtis, what are your final thoughts?
I mean, pretty good race overall. Some cautions are expected, so most of them happened in the latter half of the race, unfortunately. But still, not too many trucks taken out by it. More so, strategy bitten by trying to short pit. But either way, I really don't think anybody had anything for James Ross. He showed that, you know, he's been the dominant truck all year and showed up for the playoffs. He dominated the first race of the playoffs and just proved to everybody that, you know, if they want to win this thing, they're going to have to go directly through him. So that's, I think that's just the way it's going to be. But overall, good race here for the opening race of the Chase.
Yeah, thank you, Curtis. It was very interesting, very good. Like you see in real life, these crew chiefs, car chiefs, drivers are going to have to go back to the shop and have their meetings and adjust their strategy. And I'm sure they're going to do that. Some are already talking right now behind closed doors about what they've got to do to beat the 51 truck. And I do believe over this format of this Chase, we will have people give him some serious competition. Curtis, thanks for that. I do agree it was a great race. Fans, for Curtis Young, again, we want to thank Michael D'Amico with All Pro Broadcasting with a great broadcast again tonight. This is Robert McFarland. Tune in tomorrow night for the Domino's TYJ Racing Top Shelf Cup Car, the first round of their Chase for 2017 at Talladega. Fans, this is going to be an incredible race. Who's going to win this one? You never know, because the playing field will be more level in the big pack and drafting. I can't wait to see it. And we hope you're there too, so you get a chance to win that free pizza. Again, for Curtis Young, Michael D'Amico, this is Robert McFarland. We will talk to you tomorrow night. Have a great one, fans. Good night.
21 guns in the air. 21 guns in the air.
Hey, this is Garrett Smithley, driver the number 0 JD Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting.